Get the McCracken on the McCracken. How y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope y'all tuning in to a happy Friday. Yeah, what's happening, y'all? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope y'all tuning in to a happy Friday. That song get me lit every time I get in front of this camera. I like that now. I revamped it. I know y'all seen that. I revamped it. I know you seen it. But it's probably gonna change up every time until I actually find one that I really want to do consistently. So don't get mad at me if you notice the Happy Friday song gets changed from one Happy Friday to another Happy Friday. But it's always a Happy Friday when you see this face. Can you dig me? Listen. Did you guys enjoy the first episode of the new piece of Let's Talk Black History segment? Did y'all enjoy it? Did you? Because that was just episode 1. We got more episodes to come. Or you can go to Patreon, Movies with Tay, become a member, and just watch the whole episode without any breaks. It's up to you. Okay? Then on top of that, you can go over there and see the full season of Anguished. I'm just saying, it's up to you on what you decide to do. Okay? All right. Now, as we all know, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're getting something from me. Well, today is Friday, so you know what that means. Podcast Fridays, baby. So, your host with the most, real Taylor Nicole, who always comes back at it again with another fire banger for y'all, had to, go pull up some comments and see what movie I seen in the comments multiple times. And, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this movie. Why not? Because it's got one of my faves in it. So I'm like, why not? So, without further ado, your host with the most, who usually does have more to say to you guys in the beginning, don't got a lot to say right now. Give me just a second, actually. Sorry about that. I'm back with y'all. But before I do get into the episode, actually, I did want to say, if you guys have not been caught up to speed, Anguish has now dropped episode 3. So if you want to get caught up with the caught up, go and click my little subscription thing first. Hit the notification bell and then just follow along, okay? You can go back and always rewatch it, baby. It's good stuff, I promise you. Tell you no lie. I'm an amateur actor, and so is my fiance, who's playing as an actor as well. We're both amateurs. He's an amateur actor. I'm an amateur actress. We are not top tier, and I understand our acting is not going to be up to par with what you guys used to seeing, but because I don't have people who I can have play these roles, it is what it is. But I'm still going to bring you that good content. All right now. So let's jump into the episode. Today we are dealing with episode 36. Name of this movie is Shaft, the 2000s version. I'm going to make that clear. This is Shaft, the 2000s versions, because there's quite a few different Shafts out there. But the one we're dealing with today is Shaft, the 2000s version. And this was requested by Mr. Bellamy himself multiple times. And it was one other person I've seen that mentioned it, but they deleted that comment. I don't know why. But I did see another, like, 1 or 2 other people mention this movie. So why not? So this movie runs for about an hour and 40 minutes. It was released June 16th of 2000. Director, of course, is our near and dear, rest in peace to his brother, by the way, John Singleton. You dig me? It's directed by Mr. John Singleton. Producer also Mr. John Singleton. And then Scott Rudin and Mark, I think it's Roybal, I think it's how you pronounce his name. You can watch this movie on MGM Plus, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Philo, Google Play Movies and TV, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. Once again, MGM Plus, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Philo, Google Play Movies and TV, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. That is where you can watch this movie at, okay? All right. Now, let's jump into it. Get into these characters, why don't we? They had a nice little cast, nice little star-studded cast, in my opinion. So we got Samuel L. Jackson as John Shaft II. Then we have Vanessa Williams as Carmen Vasquez. And then we have Richard Roundtree as John Shaft I. Then we got Jeffrey Wright as Peoples Hernandez, Mr. Christian Bale as Walter Wade Jr., and Busta Rhymes as Racine, Mekhi Phifer as Trey Howard, and Tony Collette as Diane Palmieri, and Lawrence Taylor, aka LT, as Lamont. Now, some of them are minor characters; they don't play a big part. There is one more person I did not mention that does play a big part, but I'm gonna save her for the end because it's kind of where she comes in important at. So, first thing I want to say is this movie opened up real freaky, just real freaky. This movie opened up super duper freaky. I was like, what kind of opening is this? It was titties everywhere, bodies bumping into it was yeah, freaky beginning, if you will. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the movie. So the movie opens up with Shaft II going to a crime scene where Trey Howard was laying on the ground unconscious after being hit over the head with a pole of some sort. Um, and his cranium was split open. So Chef heads inside the bar where Trey's body was laying out near, right? He goes into there, and when he goes into the bar, this chick, Diane Palmieri, she looks at Shaft and looks over at a white guy in the corner who we later finds out is Walter Wade Jr. And he goes over to Walter Wade, who's over there on the phone, talking on the phone to somebody, and Shaft taps him on the shoulder and he gives Shaft to hold on 1 minute, and he's got blood on his hand. Instantly, Shaft already knew. So Shaft, pretty much makes him get in the phone conversation and pretty much starts talking to him about the incident that happened outside. Well, Walter lies and tells Shaft that Trey couldn't handle a joke. He got mad, swung at him with a bat, and he defended himself. Is basically what his lie was, right? Now, here's the problem with that. There was no bat outside. It was a pole. So if you were gonna lie and say he hit you with, try to hit you with something, at least say what you hit him with is what he tried to hit you with, right? Well, really, and really during that conversation, Shaft ain't hearing none of that bullshit. Shaft arrested him and tell them take him outside to the car and blah blah blah. So while Shaft is going around getting ready to question people, he goes to Diane Palmieri and she don't want to say nothing. She do got blood on her face though. So Shaft knows she knows something because she got blood on her face. And she like, I don't know nothing. Like, he like, okay, cool. Well, earlier when Shaft asked the other officers was there a witness, they said no. Well, it turns out the chick that Trey came with was still there. And she offered to tell Shaft what happened. So Shaft goes up to her, he talks to her, and she tells Shaft pretty much that Walter was making heckling racial jokes at Trey and couldn't take what Trey did back to him. So while he was making racial jokes to Trey, Trey took a napkin, cut eye parts out of the napkin, and walked over to Walter and threw it over his face to resemble a KKK cloak, right? And he walked off. Now, when he walked off, everybody was going crazy. Everybody was laughing. The whole restaurant was going crazy. Everybody was laughing, kikiing, and everything up. And Walter like, you ain't gonna embarrass me like that, bitch. So Walter went outside and they in exchange. Now I'm gonna tell you later on how we know Walter and Trey had their. I mean, if you watch the movie, you kind of clearly already know. But I'm gonna explain that later on. Pause. Da 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 da. Unpause. Anyway, so Shaft ain't to be fucked with. He don't like racist shit. He don't like bullshit. He don't like lies. He don't like people thinking they can get over and do whatever they want to and get away with it. Like, he ain't for the bullshit. He don't care what race you are. He don't stand for the bullshit, right? So when Shaft was going to go check on Trey, Walter makes another racial joke and Shaft punched him straight in his motherfucking shit, as I would've. Broke his nose, right? So Trey starts to convulse and starts having seizures, and unfortunately, he dies. And Shaft's captain walks over to Shaft and tells him, I've been. Sorry about that. So Shaft's boss walks over to him like, I've been waiting to do this for a long time. He basically fires Shaft. And Shaft like, for what? And he punches Walter in the nose again. He punched him the first time for the racial remark. The second time he punched him is because Trey died. That's really why he punched his ass. And Shaft like, whatever, motherfucker, I don't give a damn, and goes on about his business. Now, fast forward, it's like 2 years later, right? Well, no, it's not 2 years later just yet. I'm sorry. Um, Walter ends up going to court for what he did, and Walter gets bail and skips town. Walter gets bail because Shaft punched him in the face. That's why he gets bail, right? So Walter skips town and gets gone. Now, the whole entire community, black community, is upset that this man gets to walk free, knowing that he was going to skip town. So, beforehand, when Shaft was searching Walter's pockets and, checking for stuff, in Walter's wallet, he found the waitress, the barkeep, he found her, Diane Palmieri, he found her ID in Walter's wallet, right? He took it from Walter. So when Walter got to walk free, got to get bail and got to walk free, he thought he had won because he like, all right, you know, Shaft, he cool. He want to quit. Shaft about to quit because I got to walk free. So now Shaft quit because I believe this is the when he got bail. I believe Shaft threw his badge in the damn thing, and towards the judge, right? Well, uh, while Shaft is leaving, he shows Diane's ID to Walter. Now Walter's spooked because you thought shit was sweet. But see, Walter still skips town, whatever. So it jumps forward like 2 years at this point now. Walter's been in the wind for 2 years. It jumps forward. Well, because Shaft doesn't do anything with Diane's ID in front of us, we assume he didn't do it. He just didn't follow up on it, right? So it clips to a scene where Shaft, Jack, Jimmy, Carmen are all at this apartment complex where they're getting ready to do a drug bust and a drug raid on these, low life criminals. They go ahead and do their little raid, and they run through a complex of drug dealers, and they handcuffing everybody. And one of them runs, and Shaft chases him down. And he think he got away from Shaft. He didn't. Shaft caught his ass. And while Shaft is doing his thug thizzle, People's Hernandez is in the window watching them, handcuff everybody. And Shaft or Carmen points him out. So Shaft looks up like, okay, motherfucker, you want to look down on us like you some type of god? He grabs a basketball and he flings it up there and he hits People's in the face with it, and it knocks the food all over People's clothes. Because People's in the windows eating food, looking down at them like they was some peasants. And People's come down there. He come all the way downstairs, and he get all tough and macho in Shaft's face. He threatened Shaft, and then I think he poked Shaft, so Shaft arrested him, right? So now People's mad because he didn't got arrested, and Shaft puts hold on, y'all, jump something, hold on. So after they arrested, I didn't skip anything. So after they arrested Peoples, Shaft ends up getting a tip from somebody over the phone about Walter. Walter's coming back in town, right? So now Shaft, and mind you, like I said, 2 years ago, Shaft got fired. Shaft back on the force. See how crazy this is? So, uh, Shaft calls Racine for a favor, and the favor was for Racine to go with him to hijack Walter's limo, which they do. They hijack Walter's limo. They take Walter back to jail. Walter and Peoples end up in the same cell, but that's what Shaft wanted. That's why he didn't want them to take Peoples out of that cell just yet. He wanted them to be in the same cell. For some reason, he wanted to be in the same cell together. Well, uh, Walter has said to Shaft, "Did you think I was sneaking back in? Like, why would I sneak back in?" I'm thinking to myself, "Yes, nigga, you was trying to sneak back in. We not dumb. You was trying to sneak back in, nigga. That what else would you be doing back? Because you ain't have no intentions. You was shocked when you seen Shaft. If you wasn't sneaking back in, you would have been smiling and giggling when you seen him, but or prepared because you were turning yourself in. But anyway, like I said, Walters and Peoples is both in the same cell, right? They mingling, they talking. They got a common enemy, so people starts to watch Walter, and he catches on. He see Walter got a little cray cray in him. He see Walter can handle himself, and he noticed something about Walter. But while they in there, Kiki ended up in jail. Well, my bad. I thought my mic went dead. Well, they weren't Kikiing up in jail. Let me say that because really it was people trying to talk to Walter, but Walter wasn't trying to fuck with people. We look over on the side and Shaft in there kicking it. He done went to this little bar, if you will. He in there with his people, whatever. He go roll up on this shorty. He's saying something to her, and this is when Lamont walks up on him. Now I'm not sure if LT's character Lamont was gay or not. I don't know, but they Lamont fakes this little argument with him and pushes him into a room where they got a celebration for Shaft at. So they in there kicking it. While Shaft in there kicking it, having a good ass time. Once again, Peoples and Walters in the same cell. He knows this though. So Shaft don't really give a damn. He knows this. He did it. Now, let me see where I want to go with this. Oh, I noticed too. Shaft be kissing on all the lady friends he got. He either kiss them on the lips, on their face, or something. He always be kissing bitches. And I'm like, why you keep kissing on these bitches? No wonder why people be getting, feeling some type of way. You keep kissing bitches. But anyway, if you notice, Shaft the second is just like Shaft the first, and they call each other uncle and nephew. So in this movie, Shaft 1 is Shaft 2's uncle. At least that's what they want us to portray. But if you watch the rest of the Shafts, you'll find out otherwise. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. See, Big Shaft and Little Shaft carry this same ordeal. See, Shaft the second said to one of the chicks, because she asked him if he was gonna come through that night, because she was trying to get a little, what I'm saying, something. And he was like, it's my duty to please that booty. So, what I'm saying, he got the same little mojo and swag that his Uncle Shaft got, right? So later on, Shaft, the next day, Shaft is busting his captain's ass, Kearney, because he asked him, he like, how you a captain of this shitty ass precinct and you able to afford these colonial ass style mansions, like you live in this upscale area, how? What kind of money are you making? And he tells Shaft that the benefit of living where he lives is it's a restricted area. In other words, ain't no niggas in that area, and they cool with that. So Shaft and him don't get along, clearly, right? Well, once again, Walter goes to court and he gets bail again. Everybody motherfucking mad. And then I think actually at this point, no, it was at this point the Shaft got mad. I was wrong in the beginning. So it was at this point the Shaft got mad that this motherfucker got bail again. And that's when he threw his badge at the judge, like not at the judge, but past the judge into the wall where the judge was sitting at. And he said, fuck this shit, I quit. And I don't blame him. I would have quit too, because come on, man. But Shaft quits. He turns in his gun. When he got ready to turn in his gun, everybody thought he's about to shoot Walter. That shit was so funny. So he turns in his gun. And at this point, he shows Walter old girl's ID. This is when I jumped ahead earlier. So at this point, he shows Walter Diane Palmieri's ID. And now Walter's like, oh shit, this nigga still got her ID. Like, she could really put me in jail. So now Walter, he go home, he's scared. He telling his people like, bro, I'm scared. Like, he got this chick ID. If he finds her, I'm gonna go to prison. I'm not gonna walk because she's gonna be able to tell exactly what happened. And now we go into this game of who gonna find old girl first. This is pretty much what it is. At this point, it become who gonna find who first. And Walter and Walter's dad and his friend was in there trying to tell Walter that they be fine. You know, she got paid to be gone. She's gonna be gone. She ain't gonna come out and hide and blah 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 blah. And Walter like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. But before Walter leaves, his daddy's little you dig comes in wearing his mother's necklace, and he like, you gave this bitch my mama jewelry. And at that point, Walter like, okay, if you don't care about her jewelry, neither do I. And he goes and steals a bunch of jewelry, and he takes it to Peoples. But before we get to that part, Shaft goes to see Diane's mother again, and he tries to get her mother to let him talk to Diane. And her mama like, I don't know what you're talking about. She ain't here. So Carmen starts extending a helping hand to Shaft. She knows the consequences of helping Shaft since he quit the force again. But she extends her helping hand again. And this is where Shaft goes to see Terry, who's played by Lynette Ware, and she offers to help him, but she needs him to do her a favor, which is keep this street dude named Malik away from her son, her 12-year-old son. And Shaft does just that. He goes over to Malik, he bitch Malik out, and he made Malik leave her son alone. All right, cool. Watch the movie to see exactly what he did to make him leave alone. Now, this is how you know Shaft that man, because the police were driving by, they didn't say nothing. They kept it pushing. And it might have just been because it's black on black, they didn't care. Or maybe because they knew Shaft. I don't know. I never really dig deep into that part. But the point is, they drove it and kept it pushing. And Shaft eventually ends up finding Diane with the help of Terry. And soon as Diane seen Shaft and Carmen, that bitch booked it. I mean, she hot-tailed it up out of there so motherfucking quick, got in that car, and ski skirt took off. Got up out of there. So, since she got the step in, Shaft is so determined to find old girl that, you know, at this point, he doing what he gotta do. So they, like I said, playing this cat and mouse game. Then you get to the middle of the movie where Walter takes the jewelry that he stole and he goes to Peoples for help. He tells Peoples that the jewelry he stole is worth like $40K. He had it appraised. And Walter ends up popping up on the news, and people realize, oh, you that famous dude. That's who you are. So people's like, listen, man, I'll help you with your little problem. You want me to find Diane Palmieri? Cool, I'll help you with that, but I need you to do me a favor. I'll take the $40K, but I also need you to take this product and get it in that circle that you working with. And see, at first he said, I need you to take me wherever you go. And Walter like, why the fuck would I do that? You're a low-life drug dealer who kill people. I'm like, no. And he was like, no, not me, this. And he shows him the product. And Walter like, bro, hell no, I'm not taking that shit into no goddamn, like, what's wrong with you? You lost your mind? So Peoples is like, damn, so it's a no? So he gave him back the jewelry, and he tell him, you go pawn that shit yourself, and then you bring me back the money, because I'm not going to pawn shit. You go do it. So Walter leaves out. And I feel Peoples though, because you want me to ice this bitch, but you don't want to do, you want me to risk going to prison for murder, but you won't risk your little white privileged freedom to go push these drugs in front of these people. And I get it. But really, drugs versus killing people, that killing somebody is higher than pushing drugs on people, especially people that's already doing them. And you want me, this is a higher crime. So, and then she's a witness to a case that you in. That's even worse. So Shaft is walking down the street, and Tattoo, who's played by Andre Roja, is supposed to be meeting with Shaft. And they end up having a little meeting in Shaft's car. And at this point, Jack and Jimmy pull up on Shaft and Tattoo. And Jack notices Tattoo's tattoo on his hand. So he realizes who it is. And, you know, they ask Shaft, are you cool? And Shaft like, yeah, I'm straight. They're like, are you sure? And he like, I'm straight. So they drive off. The next day, Jack and Jimmy have a meeting with Peoples. And Jack like, should we tell Peoples about Tattoo? Cause see, Peoples offered them a job. He offered them 20K. No, he offered them 10K to find Diane Palmieri, right? He lied and told him that the white boy offered him 20K, so he's gonna get him 10. That's what he lied and told him. So he lied all the way around about how much it was. But they like, all right, cool, we'll take the job. And now we see a Shaft and Carmen against everybody. That's what it is. A Shaft, Carmen, Racine, Diane Palmieri against everybody, right? So while Walter, People, Shaft, Carmen, Jack, and Jimmy are looking for Diane because nobody found her yet. Of course, Cameron and Shaft are looking for Diane to help her while everybody's looking to kill her. Shaft and Luger robbed Walter for the 40K he was supposed to take back to Peoples for him to do his job to take out Diane Palmieri. So now Walter ain't got no money to pay Peoples. So what do you think happens? He goes and tells people what happened. He got robbed. And Peoples is like, okay, motherfucker, you got robbed. Take this dope and sell it in about 3 to 6 months, 6 months to a year. We'll be square. And I think he said 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I think is what he said. But he was like, we'll be square. You won't owe me a thing after you get done, doing what I asked you to do. And Walter like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't want to do this shit. But he's like, you ain't got no choice. You don't have a choice. So now and he was the reason why Walter didn't have a choice is because people said he already put it in motion to have Diane Palmieri killed for him. So that's why he was saying he didn't have a choice because he's not going to stop the train. He already got it in motion. I'm not going to stop it. So Cameron gets a hit on where Diane is because she's tapped into her mother's phone, lines, and she's listening in. So they get a hint on where Diane is. So now her and Shaft got to put shit in motion. So this is where Shaft takes the money that he and Luger stole from Walter. He goes and stashes it in Jack and Jimmy's car. And he puts it underneath Jimmy's seat, the driver's seat, right? And you would think that somebody would notice something's in their car that wasn't in there before, but they don't. So Peoples ends up meeting up with Jack and Jimmy, and he lets them know that the white boy got mugged and there's no money right now. So they arguing, and while they arguing, Shaft calls Peoples and has Racine tell Peoples that Jack and Jimmy is playing him the money's under the seat. Cause see, Jack and Jimmy was following Shaft all around. Everywhere Shaft went, they were following him to see if he would lead them to Diane. Well, when Racine told him that, Peoples hopped out. And he, opened up their door, he moved them out the way, and he find the bread. They get to arguing, pulling guns out and everything, and People's little brother went to go use the bathroom in one of the houses. And while he was upstairs using the bathroom, he just happened to look down and noticed that Racine and Shaft had drove off. So he runs downstairs real quick and he tells Peoples and them like, yo, Shaft is playing us. This motherfucker just drove off. So then they like, what the hell? How? We was just, what I'm saying? So they all hop in their cars, they take off. Everybody taking off. Shaft gets to Diane's mother's house, and when they get there, when they get there, when they sorry, when they get there, Shaft, goes to get Diane. She tries to run away. She tries to sneak out. That's what she tried to do. But Shaft ended up catching her anyway. And this is how they Shaft got her. So Shaft sent Racine to go knock at the door and ask for Diane because she knew that would trigger her, make her want to run. So Shaft was waiting on her to run out the back door. He grabbed her. As they're getting ready to run off, Peoples and his peoples showed up. So now it's Shaft against Peoples and his peoples, right? They having their little shootout, blah, 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 blah. And their mother called her brothers, right? Because Shaft and Carmen had went to go to their mom before, and her brothers had came outside and tried to scare Shaft and Carmen like they cared. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So when Shaft goes to take Diane into the car, her brothers pulled up. Or no, not brothers pulled up, I'm sorry. Shaft was having a shootout. Her brothers didn't pull up just yet. Shaft having a shootout with Peoples and his peoples. You know, he bop, 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 bop. And, you know, the shootout getting bad. And People's little brother gets shot in the face and killed. And People's losing. He gets out the car. He's plucking himself with the little ice pick knife that he had, and you kill my brother. You got to kill me. That's what he's doing. But stabbing himself with the little pick or whatever. And while he walking up, Diane's brothers pull up and they hit this fool. They get out the car. They run up to the car trying to snatch Diane out the car. Whole time, Shaft has been yelling for Racine to drive and go get away. Racine ass is too busy being nosy instead of just driving away because it would have reduced all of that bullshit. But um, like I said, when her brothers hit him, they get out. They hop out. Mikey is on Shaft's passenger side trying to break the window down to get in the car, and then the other brother, I think his name is Richie. He's in the car trying to choke Shaft, and she's yelling for her brother to stop. She's like, he's trying to help me. Stop, stop, stop. Well, Peoples walks up and stabs their brother in the back, and they drive off. Racine finally drives off. They get to Racine's place. Jack and Jimmy follow Shaft all the way to Racine's place. They know where he is. They call Peoples and tell Peoples where he at. Peoples is like, cool, keep your eye on and let me know if he move. Peoples goes to Walter's, I think it's his house or whatever, and he started whooping Walter's ass. He even stabbed that fool in the hand. And he's whooping his ass because he was mad because his brother just got killed for some shit that he shouldn't even have been involved in. You know, like, you asked me to go find this woman. You didn't tell me it was this much goddamn heat with trying to find this woman for you and get her killed. My brother just died because of you. So I understood why he whipped Walter's ass. And I whooped his ass too because had you not brought this bullshit to me, you didn't even tell me how hot it was. You just said it should be an easy find, basically. You didn't tell me that Shaft was after this bitch too. You know? So, anyway. So, Cameron knows that Jack and Jimmy don't have a clue where Shaft is. Somehow, Shaft and Cameron knew that Jack and Jimmy was on some bullshit before they found out he was on some bullshit. Like, way before they figured it out, if that makes sense. So when Carmen seen them, she goes over to the car because she's like, why are they here? You know what I'm saying? Like we know y'all, you know. So she comes over there. She gets to talking to him. They're like, oh, we got Shaft's back. And she was like, how did y'all know he was here? He didn't tell anybody he was here. Well, we got your back and his back. And they try to say her back first. And she was like, I just got here. So how you have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they saying stupid shit. And I think it was Jimmy. Jimmy asked Carmen, did she have on her vest? She said no. He shot in her chest. And whatever he hit her with, it blew her ass back, I tell you that. And she was laying in a pile of trash bags. They get out. Peoples pull up. Peoples and his peoples pull up to Racine's spot. So Jack and Jimmy like, shit, leave her ass there, I guess. And they, you know, go running off with, you know, Peoples and his people. They go ambush Racine's apartment. Well, when they go ambush Racine's apartment, Racine, Shaft, Richie, and Diane are in there. Now, while they're rushing the apartment, Diane is telling Shaft that the reason why she ran is because Walter's family offered her money. They offered like $100K or something like that to be gone. And they gave her $50K up front for her to disappear, and she was going to get the other $50K once Walter's case got dismissed, I guess. So she took the money, and she was telling Shaft that that's why she kept running, because she took the money, and she wasn't planning on testifying. She thought that the day she pointed him out to Shaft, that that's all she needed to do. And she kept telling herself that she did the right thing, you know, whatever. She just didn't want to testify. So people's finally pull up. Shaft started, you know, he telling everybody, get out, get out, get out, get out. So everybody getting out, and Shaft is once again Shaft against everybody. Shaft popping motherfuckers left and right. And he finally gets down a little fire escape, and Jack and Jimmy are there, right? And they think they got one up on Shaft. And I hate when bad guys always trying to talk good people shit to somebody. Like, y'all always trying to talk good shit to folks. Like, y'all got one up on them. And Carmen pull up. And Shaft like, shoot this motherfucker without hesitation. Wow, Carmen took him out. When she took Jimmy out, Jimmy's shotgun went off and shot Jack and killed Jack. Now they dipping. They still, trying to get away from peoples and his peoples though. So they still gotta fight him. And they fighting his peoples, they shooting, they getting pretty much rid of everybody. Then they end up in the end they end up having to fight end up having to still be chased down by peoples, right? So peoples are still chasing them down, and in the end, Shaft kills peoples and killed peoples. Um, Now what's crazy is in the end, peoples try to act like he was gonna just have a man to man fight with Shaft, right? He tried to be sneaky and try to shoot Shaft, backfire. Shaft laid his ass flat. Well, anyway, now everybody on People's Squad is dead. Peoples and Peoples is gone. Well, the next day, Walter goes to court, and Diane goes to testify against Walter. Well, while Walter was walking up to the courthouse, Carla Howard, who's played by Lynn Thigpen, pops up and pops that fool Walter. See, reason why I kept her quiet for a minute is because, see, Miss Carla Howard is Trey Howard's mother. And she had been going to court. Every time Walter went to court, she went to court. Every time she went to court. Every time he went to court, she went to court. And when he kept getting bail, kept getting walk free, she just knew that the day he walked into court, he was going to get to walk free or he wasn't going to get the time he deserved. So she popped his ass because she felt like that was enough justice for her. And everybody was in the crowd like, let her go. Why y'all arresting her? Let her go. And Shaft he nodded his head at her like, shit, good job, mama. It is what it is. And in the end, Shaft goes into business for himself. He quits the force completely. Like, he really is done with the force. He quits the force completely. And the reason why he ends up getting a job, like going into business for himself, is because this black chick came in who wanted to make a complaint against her boyfriend for beating on him, but people told her to go directly to Shaft. So that's what she did. She went directly to Shaft about it, and that's what made him go into business. His uncle Shaft had already told him, his uncle daddy, had told him to go into business with him, but Shaft didn't want to at first. He kept trying to play it, by the legal way, and Big Shaft was like, I'm trying to tell you that ain't it, baby. So they ended up, Shaft ended up gifting Racine a new car, and everything all good. New car, new job for Racine. Shaft going to business for herself. Boom, bada bing. That's the end of the story, right? So y'all know I like to go in for the notes, and in my notes, the one thing that I want to start off with is, Buddy really thought he got away from Shaft when Shaft was chasing him in that drug bust. The fact that he thought he got away from Shaft, and when he didn't get away from Shaft, he looked so surprised. Why do you think he was going to get away? What made you think that you was going to get away? And then, I wonder why in this one, why Big Shaft didn't tell Little Shaft the truth. See, if you go watch the other Shafts, and I'm going to just give you a spoiler alert, Big Shaft is actually Shaft the second. It's actually his daddy. It's not his uncle. And I was trying to figure, I'm like, why he ain't tell him the truth that he was really his daddy and not his uncle? Because I think in the newer Shaft, he tells him that he's really his father and not his uncle, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess growing up, Lil Shaft or Shaft the second didn't know the Big Shaft wasn't really his uncle, so I guess he wouldn't have been able to question it either. But I would have questioned it, because why the hell am I named after my uncle and I'm called the second? Okay. Also, and I think I might do the newer Shaft just so I can compare the two. But also, why when Shaft was chasing after Diane Palmieri when she was driving off in that Iraq she was in, why when Shaft was in the middle of the street did somebody drive by and say, "Get out of the middle of the street, you fucking crackhead"? Like, why they call Shaft a crackhead, bro? That shit took me out. New York is always calling somebody a crackhead, some type of vulgar or disrespectful word. I'm like, this fool called him a crackhead or a fucker, something like that is usually what they call him. But yeah, I was like, why he called Shaft a crackhead? Like, damn, Shaft is well known. You didn't know that was Shaft, my boy? But I will say it's crazy how this movie went from 1998 to 2000, and for 2 years straight, 2 plus years straight, Diane and Walter was gone in the wind. Nobody knew where they were. Nobody could ever find them. Like nothing. And it was crazy for me because I'm like, in real life, if Diane never left the city, how did nobody run into her? Like, was she really that good at hiding? I know she grew her hair out a little bit, but was she really that good at hiding? Um, like I said, Diane was running for her life, for real, for real. For 2 years, she was in fear of her life, and she always had to look over her shoulder, and she never forgot a face. It was clear that she never got a face because when she seen Shaft, she said, "Oh shit!" But she should have known Shaft was the popo. Well, she did. I think she did. I take that back. So Diane knew that Shaft was the police, but I don't understand why she was so afraid of him. I would have just told him, "I'm not testifying." Instead of running from him, she made it harder. Diane really made it harder because all she had to do was just tell Shaft she wasn't going to testify and to leave her the hell alone. That's literally all she had to do. All that running she was doing was making it way worse. And see, Walter was so afraid of losing his freedom, he was literally doing any and everything to try to avoid losing his freedom. But what he should have just did is stay gone. When he skipped town the first time, he should have just stayed gone. He really should have, because he came back and died when he could have just stayed wherever he was and lived his little life. But that was that guilt eating him up. That's why he came back. And also, them fools caused so much city damage between driving erratically, flipping cars over other cars, destroying buildings, and shooting up the places and stuff like that. They caused so much city damage, car damage, smoked a lot of folks throughout the entire movie, killed several of people's pun intended, and it was just a lot of just killing. And I'm like, how the city ain't got a problem with this yet? That's what I want to know. How come the city don't have a problem with all of this murder and all of this property being tore up? Like nobody said nothing. At least in Rush Hour, they said something about the property damage in Rush Hour. But I digress. So, like I said earlier, the entire movie, Carla Howard went to every single court date, right? But she also was present around Shaft a lot. So I think she was going to court every day to build up the courage to be able to smoke that fool Walter. I think that's what she was doing. I think she wanted to every day, every day, every time, not every day. I'm sorry. Every time she went to that courthouse and he got a bail, it just did nothing but light fire in her to be prepared to take Walter out when it was time for her to do so. So like I said, I think she felt like the judgment day wasn't going to be a sufficient judgment day for Walter, so she took it into her own hands, as most parents would have. Honestly, he lucky she didn't pop him the first day that he got bail. He really is lucky. She probably didn't have a gun then. That's probably why she didn't do it. But y'all know, in concluding that film, I like to rate that film, and I'm gonna have to give this a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. If you ain't never seen Shaft, baby, and you like a smooth criminal, a dog of a revengeful criminal fighting ass kicking motherfucker, Shaft is it. Like, even if you watch the original Shaft, like with Richard Roundtree, even if you watch his, I've seen the original Shaft, but I haven't seen the other two spin-offs of his Shaft. I never seen those, but I have seen the original Shaft. And man, let me tell you, when I say Samuel Jackson embodied that character and he possessed and carried the same swag that Richard Roundtree did in the very first Shaft, man, that's why they picked him. That is why they picked him. And I hate to sound like a butthole, but I don't see them doing another Shaft without Samuel Jackson and Richard Roundtree. Even though I know the new one has I can't think of an old buddy boy's name right now. I know it's got the little young fella in it, but I know they wouldn't do another one if Richard Roundtree and Samuel Jackson or one of them two is not in the movie. They're not gonna be able to do what that little young dude. He ain't got the swag. Samuel Jackson and Richard Roundtree gonna have to get a little boy the swag in order for him to be able to, carry the Shaft legacy on his own. Um, but Shaft is a classic. Like I said, if you've never seen it, you really should, because this is a real good classic black movie. The only other person I think I could see playing Shaft like as a character, And it's hard because Shaft is tall. Shaft ain't short. So one of the people I'm thinking of, he's kind of little, and it's the I think his name is Damon Idris or Damon Idris. I forgot how to pronounce that man's name. The young dude who played Franklin on Snowfall. He would play the hell out of a Shaft character. He's just so short that I don't think he'd be able to pull it off because of his height. But then if I had to go based off of height, Kofe Cerebro, I think he can body that Shaft character. I think if Samuel Jackson and Richard Roundtree took him underneath their wing and coached him up and gave him that extra oomph to his swag, I think he could body that character. Who else would play the hell out of Shaft? I would have said Trayvon Rhodes, but I mean not Trayvon, Trevante Rhodes. I would have said Trevante Rhodes, but I don't know if he really would be able to body that character like that. Comment down below who you think would play a good ass Shaft. If you made it all the way to the end, comment down below and tell me who would play a good ass Shaft. But like I said, this is a classic. So if you had never seen it, you definitely should go see it. Or, I gave you the places where you can go watch the movie at. Go watch it. Before you come in here hitting the thumb down button on my video, go actually watch the movie first. Because y'all be liking to hit the thumbs down and ain't even seen the movie, but got the nerve to be hitting the thumbs down. And then on top of that, if you're going to hit the thumbs down, come and tell me why. Like, don't hit no thumbs down and not tell me what the problem is. Tell me what the problem is. So I can, either debunk your problem or clarify your problem or agree with your problem. But y'all just be hitting thumbs down and don't even want to say why y'all got beef. Tell me why y'all got beef. Everybody who hit thumbs up, I appreciate that. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Don't hit thumbs down on me. Don't do that. Hit thumbs up. Hit thumbs up. Show me some love. But as always, thank everybody for tuning in week after week with your girl. It's been your host with the most of real Taylor Nicole, and I'm always bringing y'all that new flavor, baby. Listen, make sure y'all subscribe, share, like, and comment for your girl. Argue with your mama. I'm out. Peace out.